class. Now let us look at the 5 different flows in marketing, in the marketing channel for forklift trucks. The example that is taken is that of a forklift truck. So look at the physical flow. So from the suppliers, the product moves to the warehouse, then to the plant, then to the warehouse again, then to the dealers, then to the customers. The suppliers here referring to the raw material supplier. Then when it is completed through the plant, converted into the final product, again it moves to the warehouse. Sometimes from the plant itself you can go straight to the customer, or you can go through the warehouse to the dealer to the customer, or you can many times go from the warehouse to the customer also. That is, a physical flow can take place in any of these 3 ways. One direct way is from plant to warehouse to dealers to customer, or it can be direct from the plant to the customer, or it can be from the warehouse to the customer. This is the way physical flow can take place. The second is the title flow. How does the title flow come? The suppliers of these raw materials give it to the plant. Now their role is over. Now the plant comes out with the final product, converts all these raw materials to the final product. Then it is sold to the customer. Customer becomes the owner of that product. So the title flow will move from suppliers to plant to customers. The third is the payment flow. How does the payment flow go? Customers pay to the dealers. The dealers pay to the plant in turn to the suppliers. So the reverse order. The fourth flow is the information flow. There is an information flow to and from the suppliers to the warehouse, to and from the warehouse to the plant, to and from the warehouse from the plant to the warehouses, that is the finished product, then again to and from to the dealers, and again to and fro between the warehouse and the dealers, again to and fro between the dealers and the customers. So you can also have a flow between the plant and the customers. You can also have a flow between customers, plant and the dealers. That is also possible. But between the plant and the suppliers of raw materials also the flow is possible. If you go direct, this is the to and fro flows. There can also be flows intermediately occurring or continuously occurring between these different components of the business unit. The last is the promotion flow. So from the suppliers, it can go to the plant, to the dealers, to the customer. If you see, the promotion flow can be from dealers to customers, from customers to plant, from customers to the suppliers, all this. So you are the raw material supplier, give it to the plant for converting into the final product. The final product goes from the warehouse to the dealers to the customers. Feedback comes in from the customer side, from the suppliers, from the plant side to the customers also, from the supplier side to the customers also. All these are promotion flows coming in. So plant also gives information to the customers, dealers also provide information to the customers, suppliers also provide information to the customers. You see the wonderful method or the way in which flows happen in a marketing channel. Okay. So it's all very complicated, no longer easy. So you can never look at a simple marketing system in the present day context. The present day context always calls for a thorough marketing system, and only when you have a thorough marketing system can you survive in this intense competition. Otherwise, you are likely to be trounced. So if you represent this channel management through a schematic, this could be the way you can represent it. You can have a channel design process and you can have a channel implementation process. When you look at channel design process, you are segmenting, defining the service, output demands. This is all called SOD by segment. Service output demands by segment. Then you are identifying the environmental characteristics and constraints. This is the first part of channel management. The second part of the channel management is the positioning, where you define the optimal channel flow performance for each segment. For each segment, what should be the optimal performance, the channel flow performance. Then, when you are able to define that optimal channel flow performance, you can also give what should be the optimal channel structure for each segment. You may be looking at different segments. One could be a youth market, another could be a middle-aged market, or an elderly market, depending on the type of product you are doing. Then the third one is where you target. The targeting could be choosing segments. So whether you want to channel the youth market, target the youth market, or the children's market, whatever it is. And what are the environmental bounds for this? Many times these are bound by environmental constraints, so which you have to take care of very carefully. Similarly, the marginal bounds and what is the competitive benchmark. So when we looked at the marketing environment, when we took this example of a candy company, we gave one particular characteristic of the candy, that is, you cannot make it very low with respect to sweetness of the candy, or you cannot also make it very sweet. That percentage of that chocolate in the candy, that is the sweetness in the candy, it has been found it is always better to be between 28 to 32 or maximum 33% the chocolate content in that candy, whatever it is. So if it falls below the 28%, child will not like the candy. Similarly, if it goes above 33% maximum, child will not again like the candy. Then the fourth aspect which you have to look at, split into two compartments, 4A and 4B, where you are looking at establishing new channels. Where you are looking at establishing new channels, you are concerned with channel flow performance, the channel structure. And the next one is, if you want to refine the existing channels, then you look at this type of aspects to do that. You expected a certain performance from the channel, did not get it. So there is a gap. Analyze this gap, how to bridge this gap. Then when you have this gap analyzed, now again come to channel performance after this gap is bridged properly. And in order to do that, you have the channel structure refined. Suppose the existing structure you want to refine to get a better performance from the channel, then you have to do a channel structure refinement. All this calls for a very good channel implementation. The channel implementation process can be looked at in these blocks, where you identify the power sources, you identify the channel conflicts, then use power to manage conflicts. What is the goal of all this? The goal of all this is a better channel coordination. So better channel coordination helps you to get increased margins in the marketplace. So we have looked at the channel flows, we have looked at this channel management schematic, both wonderful diagrams to come in.